What up, ladies and gentlemen? Gentlemen and ladies. What else do I say after that?
I have no idea.
Yes, you do. I've said it a lot.
I know, and I don't want to say it. That's why, because it's too much.
Garrett, what do I always say? Ladies and gentlemen.
Billy goats,
cats, cows.
Everything. Oh, my God.
Everything in between.
Right. This is horrible.
Welcome to the Perfect Pair Podcast. One more again. What we talking about this month?
This week.
Didn't come out right.
Right. So this week, because he too hype, this week we're talking about scared of being hurt.
Ooh.
And trying to be in these relationships. And I'm gonna go in deep about it, but that's the title I wanted to go in. Scared of being hurt. Hurt. Babe.
My mouth just ain't working today.
I see.
Scared of being hurt.
Right. Scared of being hurt.
Okay. Let's get into it. I got some thoughts on that.
Right.
So before we get started, y'all know the routine, man. Make sure you subscribe, download, man. Continue the reviews, the 5-star reviews, man. We appreciate you so much. Go follow social media platforms, the Perfect Pair Podcast, and check out the YouTube channel and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Click the bell so you can get that alert every time we drop a new episode. Jack, Perfect Pair Podcast. Let's get it, man.
Just so extra. Bye. All right,
let's go.
So the first thing I want to say is we are all imperfect people on this earth, and we are all going to be hurt at one point in time because there's no perfect person out there but Jesus and God, in my opinion. Y'all might have a different God y'all serve, and that God is the only God that is perfect to you guys too. And if it's Mother Earth, she the only one that's perfect too. What else people be praying to?
It don't matter, but you just made your point.
Because I want to include everybody.
Right.
So the reason, that's what I'm saying. If you're with somebody, they're imperfect, so you're going to be hurt by them at one point in time, a few times in the lifetime, because they're going to do something that's just going to hurt your feelings.
Absolutely.
Because you have done a lot of that.
Absolutely. Likewise.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Babe, have I really?
What?
You don't show it. Rocky hides his feelings.
Queen of hurting people's feelings. That's why you laughing. So look at that big old mouth.
Rocky, I can't help it.
Because she's the type that she ain't gonna hurt your feelings and just that's gonna be it. She's the type that'll stab you with a knife and just. It ain't gonna be like, yeah, I got you. It's gonna be like,
Oh my God, you're so dramatic.
Because you want people to feel it.
I used to be that way. I am so much better now. If I hurt your feelings, I hurt and move on.
Oh, she got a slick mouth. Ooh,
I do.
She the queen of the slick mouth.
Oh my God. But anyways, so back to what I was saying.
But I love it.
Scared of being hurt is that we don't realize that we're walking around emotionally unavailable for people. And I'm saying this because this had a lot to do with me and my issues at the time when we was going through our rough patch.
Right.
But yet I want all the perks of a loving, nurturing, mature relationship, but yet I'm not emotionally available to my relationship and my marriage.
Man, come on. Now you preaching. Let's go.
Right. So, and y'all just got to understand that that's not going to work. We have to start to realize it's us, and we're not emotionally unavailable. We're emotionally unavailable, and we need to be able to recognize that. And it's probably come from childhood trauma, seeing your parents, how they were with each other, being hurt by somebody else previously before. Somebody was supposed to do that for you that you believed in. They let you down. So you're like, this person's going to do the same thing. So you're just like keep reliving all these negative things.
Or just flat out being insecure about yourself.
Right. No, I mean, I get that. And that's what causes us to be insecure. I think a lot of that is what causes us to be insecure.
Those are things that do cause insecurity. But sometimes you can cause insecurity in your own doggone head.
Exactly. And this is where you got to start being aware that it's you causing this.
Come on now.
And it's you bringing this through your life. And you're the one walking around in this relationship and you flinching every single time and looking at them and looking at everybody in a different way because you're like, it's them, when it's actually just you.
Preach, babe. Ooh, that's the episode right there.
Oh, my God. Don't say that. So that was another thing. I forgot. I almost lost my train of thought. So as a result, we never fully are available to our partners and our spouse. I didn't realize that. Now I realize that, especially years later, that I was not fully available for you during that time because I wouldn't talk to you.
Right.
That's another thing, communicating. We just assume that they know, or in my case, I was too embarrassed and ashamed for you to know.
Okay.
So it was more from running from it and then not thinking that I was worthy of an amazing man like you. So I needed to go ahead and mess it up and let you be and go on about your business. That was my thought process when it finally clouded over my head.
That's pretty deep. So you, in your head, you was thinking, let me just go ahead and mess this thing up because it's too good to be true because it's going to mess up anyways.
Yeah. Exactly.
So you wanted to beat it to the punch pretty much.
Yeah. I was trying to beat it to the punch. Just like, let me just do stuff, make him think I'm this way when I'm not. Knowing I'm not that person. Because if I really was that person, you wouldn't be with me still to this day. Think about it.
No, you're right. Oh, trust
like, you got to really think. And that's what I'm trying to get a lot of people to understand, like, with your spouses. Most of the time, it's something that's causing them to act that way when they're really not that person, especially if you know them.
Right.
If you know them and you love them, they're really not that person. So it's something going on. And they got to understand and help themselves, too.
Right.
To make it better and want to help themselves to do better for their spouse.
Well, even when I didn't know you, when we were just kind of early on dating and all that kind of stuff, I felt something. I think I learned your heart faster than I learned you.
Oh, yeah.
Because we would have regular conversations, even on the phone or when we're out going on our dates, having dinner, whatever. We just have regular, generic conversations. And there would be moments you would go in and out. Like, it was like two different Krystals that I was talking to. And the heartfelt version of Krystal, every time you started talking about family, you started talking about just things that really made you feel good about life. Which at that time, it wasn't a whole lot.
Right, at all.
You know what I'm saying? But just the old heart, the old soul, the old school music, just, there were certain little trigger points that I would be like, okay, this is a good old fashioned country girl that's just looking to be loved.
Right.
Or looking to share her love.
Right.
Looking to share her love, not only to, to me and your family, but just to the world.
Right.
So it was those little points that kept me going. I wanted to learn more. I want to know more. You know what I'm saying? But you wasn't really giving me more. We were cool. Keep in mind, at the beginning of when you dating and you getting it on the first couple of years, it's all right, it's whatever. But you wasn't giving me more. I was still stuck on, there's more in that heart. There's more inside of this wonderful person that I love so much. But she ain't giving it to me. So, and then you finally started giving it to me. And if y'all follow the podcast, y'all know almost our whole history.
Right.
So if you wonder what we're talking about, go back to episode 1 and catch up.
Right.
So, but the point is this: at that moment,
right,
when you finally let your heart
out,
I was like, I'm like, I knew it. I'm like, I knew it. I knew I was right. That made me fall in love with y'all over again because I didn't question myself.
Right.
And I never questioned myself, for the record.
Oh, well, good.
Even when we were going through rough patches, I never questioned the decision. Like, man, did I make the right decision with this one? Never questioned it not one bit. I was angry and mad at times, like you were too.
Right.
But I never questioned as far as beat myself up like, I just wasted all these years. And
but that makes me feel good.
Absolutely.
That's dope. And to piggyback what you're saying, it's because now we're going through life and we're guarded. I'm guarded, and it's very difficult when you're guarded like that to achieve healing, to get the nurturing and love from someone, and to actually nurture and love someone else. You can't do all that because we're so guarded because we've been hurt and we know what it's like to feel that pain. So in order for us not to feel that pain, we're going to block everything off and not go too deep.
It goes back to my Band-Aid scenario.
Yep.
So you fall down, scratch your knee on the ground, you're bleeding, you got a scar there. Then you can put a Band-Aid on it and say, there you go, you got a Band-Aid on top of that, on that sore. And you never treat the sore. You never put peroxide, alcohol, or any other kind of medicines to help heal the sore. So it's just you just put a Band-Aid on it.
Yep.
You just leave it on there. That's what the relationship is. If you just keep putting Band-Aids on your problems, your issues, your negative things that you're going through, it's never going to get resolved. You're never going to heal it. Therefore, it's always going to be there.
You're living your life in a defense.
Right. You're just covering it up with a Band-Aid.
Right. In a defense stance. Because that's how I remember myself. I'm always in defensive mode, defending myself and trying to get you to understand what I'm saying and doing and wanting you to understand, but not talking to you about it.
Mm-hmm. And what happens when you don't treat that sore with the proper medicines to help cure it? It eventually gets infected.
Oh, right. Sorry, babe.
The relationship gets infected.
Mm-hmm.
And then once your relationship gets infected, depending on how bad it is, it can get to the point where it's almost, you can't even fix it.
Right.
Because it turns into something deadly or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't mean to get off track.
It's really, because that's exactly how it is in real life. You eventually start to, because then what we do, we start to make our partner to feel responsible. We make you responsible for how we're feeling. And because we have this fear in us to feel this way, so we put that you're responsible for it. Because we can't resolve and we lack resolutions, we put that on you. We also have this nervousness feeling, that is on you. So all of this unsettling feelings and this vulnerability is coming from, and it's now your fault and your problem. And I'm expecting you to resolve it.
Come on now.
And you can't. That's not for you to resolve. It's not for you. Like, and not to get off topic, but I'm still on topic. I tell my son all the time, if you're with a woman, a young lady, and she's going through some issues, like she says she wants to hurt herself, she's mentally not there, she's just, I don't know, I can't focus, I'm depressed, I'm this and that. I told him, I said, you tell her you're going to pray for her.
Come on.
You tell her she needs to get help and she needs to talk to her parents. You advise her to go to counseling and she needs to pray, but it's time for you to back away.
Bounce.
The reason why I'm telling him that is because he is not equipped to help somebody out like that. That is not his problems nor his issues to help this young lady through this, because he can't handle it. He don't know what to do with that. Mm-hmm. He didn't go to school and become a therapist, a counselor, a psychologist, or whatever, all these other people that deal with this stuff. He's not there yet. So he is not able to help this young lady. Besides, tell her, don't judge her. Don't make her feel bad because of the way she feels. Let her know, like, hey, I don't understand, but I understand that you need help. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to always pray for you.
And don't let no one, let's use this example. Mm-hmm. He shouldn't let her make him feel guilty like he's the reason that she feels this way.
Right, like she's going to go off the deep end because, so now you leaving me? No, listen.
Man, let me tell you something.
Because if he stays, he can make it worse. The reason why I'm saying this is because if they stay, he can make it worse because he doesn't understand. Mm-hmm. He don't know what to really tell you. He's probably going to get frustrated and call you crazy,
right,
and say something wrong with you. I don't know what to do with you. He may cheat on you. He may go with somebody else. He may dismiss all your feelings altogether. So he's going to make your situation worse. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm saying it. And I'm saying that coming from a place when we were in a relationship, I'm expecting you to handle and understand all this stuff. And you a grown-ass man.
Grown.
With a career and everything, been through life, been through college, had his career, everything. And I'm expecting you to deal with all of this and putting all of this on you.
Right.
That's unfair.
Right.
So can you imagine a young boy, a young woman trying to handle all of this for someone else and they're just starting to even start their lives?
Yeah,
it's unfair. That's the reason why I'm saying it, because I know some people take it as that's wrong. You should be there for your person. No, they can't. They can't do that. That's too much.
Being there for someone is exactly what you just said. Like, let me help you get help.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is not my lane. Now, if I'm the cause of you feeling the way you feel,
then why am I still here?
Why am I still here anyways?
Exactly.
I'm gonna do you a favor. Like, if I'm making you feel the way you feel, whether it's suicidal, whether it's depressed, whatever it is, then why do you want me around anyways? Mm-hmm. 2, I'm recognizing that because you're telling me that. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna do you a favor and say, I'm gonna remove the part of your life that has you in this state.
Right.
But you're absolutely right, though. At the end of the day, you chose to continue to stay. Mm-hmm. You chose to be with me. If I'm the one, you continue to make that positive. I mean, whatever, not a positive. You continue to make that choice in your life. So, which goes back to your point. Like at the end of the day, you gotta look at the person in the mirror.
Right. And a lot of times when we're going through this, we just looking at the person not understanding. So I kept looking at you as you don't understand. You're not understanding me. You think it's just so simple, because that was another thing he would say. It's just simple. It's simple to him, and which goes back to make me understand once I started counseling, that it is simple to him.
To me.
To him, it's simple. To me, it wasn't. But he can't understand that because he's not equipped to understand that at that moment.
Right.
I'm not even talking to him, telling him what's really going on. Yes, he's heard bits and pieces of my childhood, but he ain't heard everything of what happened in my childhood. He doesn't know the extent and to the extreme it went.
Right.
And it's like, even now, there's bits and pieces that I tell him now, and he's just like, dang.
Like, golly.
like you're like, yeah, I know. But the more I can be open about it is what's helping me. And my psychiatrist told me that, like, you need to be open with him and be honest with him, and he's not going to be there to judge you. With that being said, I'll let you go in after this.
Because you already know.
Right. With that being said, you didn't judge me or throw that back up in my face.
Right.
And I appreciate that. You cannot judge and throw up something in your spouse's face about something that they confided into you and they were vulnerable. When they let you know something deep that was bad in what they had. When they got embarrassed, when they embarrassed themselves, when they know that they embarrassed themselves, when they know they was out there looking like a fool, when they know they was doing stuff they had no business, they confided in you and letting you know all these things, not for you to throw it back in their face. It's because they treating you as their best friend, their confidant, somebody that they can go to, that they can trust, that they know that they ain't gonna do nothing but love them through all of it.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate you doing that for me.
Well, thank you very much for that. And you're very welcome.
You're welcome.
But here's another piece to that. If you really don't understand,
oh, right,
say you don't understand. If I haven't been through what she shared with me, if I haven't experienced what she experienced, I'm not gonna sit up and say, I know how you feel. It's okay, honey. I know how you feel. If I've never been through that, I don't know how she feels. So don't just be a robot and say things just to say, okay, she
and
wants to
then
hear
we
this.
have to understand that they don't understand that because they have not been through that. But that's not a negative that they don't understand.
So that's why you got to be honest and say, well, listen, I don't know how you feel right now because I haven't experienced that. But as your husband and best friend, I can do one or two things. I can just continue to, encourage the situation with positive energy, positive words, or I can just not say nothing and let you just kind of get it out. And we talked about this recently.
I'm about to say, and recently, what it really is that you need, I felt like what I needed from you that I did receive and why it got better for us is because you listened and you understood. This was one situation you couldn't solve right away. And you know what? That's a blessing in disguise that he couldn't solve this because he had to do nothing but listen and understand.
Right. I had no solution for that.
At all. And he just had to listen and understand. Like, even if he be like, man, I don't understand. That's the point because you don't understand. So listen and then understand.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you got to agree with it. Doesn't mean it's saying she's right and you wrong and everything. It does not say any of that. All it says is that you're starting to understand why your spouse is reacting and acting the way they are. And he just did a yawn.
Oh, man.
In the midst of that. Of this serious, in-depth,
it wasn't because of what you were saying.
Conversation. So this is another example of saying you know your spouse. And the fact.
What time I've been up? I've been up since what time?
I don't listen. This is the point I'm making. Because I know you've been up.
I was trying to hold it.
And you've been running around. Is the reason why I'm not gonna get mad at you like I would in the past. Like, are you serious? In the midst of this whole conversation, you gonna yawn? That just makes me realize and let me further know that you ain't interested in what the hell I'm saying.
Babe, I'm sorry. It was just
he did that. He bagged up like. So thank God I do know.
Did you see me trying to hold it in?
Yes, I knew it was coming. And then you gonna turn to the side. Get your little raggedy self. Ooh, Rocky ought to be shamed. But I feel like the reason why we're at the place we're at now is because we've learned each other. Once you learn each other, you don't take a lot of shit so personal.
Come on now.
You really don't, because you start to understand, like, babe, you know I didn't really mean that. Mm-hmm. Or like my slick mouth and my comments, it's just how I've always been, and I don't really mean it. Like, I may say things and it might be harsh, but I don't really mean it in a harsh way. So I'm just saying some shit like, this is what I said.
Yeah, well, I don't take it personal anymore.
Right. You used to. You like, you so mean. You so heartless. You so cold. And I'd be like, mean. Am I? Yeah. Like, I didn't even mean it like that in a mean way.
Right.
But you made me understand that, okay, maybe how I do say things can come off harsh and cold and mean. And then I laugh, don't make it no better.
No, don't.
Because I'll laugh it and laugh at it. I don't know why. My friends, we were just talking about this too. Krystal, you just like, I don't know why I'm like this. Why I just laugh. It may be a condition. Like, we're low key.
It is a condition.
It may be a little low key condition.
She's the one of the group that, and just go get in your face and just won't. And then after everybody stop laughing, she's still laughing.
I am.
I'm kind of guilty too of that.
You're right. Because I envision it in my head all over again. I just be like, I can't stop laughing. I'm sorry. Like, I want to stop.
That's something that I'm just as guilty of.
You are. I'm about to say, babe, you do the same thing. We all be laughing like that.
I wasn't the class clown, but I was the one that instigated the class clown. Exactly. I kept the class clown going. So
back to what we were saying, so we don't have to keep going on and getting off, but at the end of the day, we have to acknowledge that it's us dealing with this, and we're putting too much of our feelings, which I go back to, always going back to, you can't put your happiness in somebody else's hands, period. Because if you do that, you're going to always be unhappy.
Come on now.
You have to make your own self happy. The only thing that spouse can do for you is make you happier. That is it. That is it. And that's where this all stems from. We have to get through these emotional situations ourselves. We got to learn how to heal ourselves. We have to do better. Even if you're going to break up or you're going to stay together, regardless, you still got to work on yourself and make yourself better and be happy for yourself. You got to understand your self-worth. You got to understand that you deserve the best, if not more than the best.
If you make yourself better, you're going to make your mate better.
Right.
Period. And, Michael Jackson said it best. I'm talking about the man in the mirror. You got to look at that man in the mirror or woman in the mirror, and you have those conversations with yourself to get the best version of you. Because when you get the best version of you, you're going to give so much goodness to anything that you touch.
Everybody.
Your mate, your friend, your husband, your wife, the world. I mean, the universe gives you what you give it.
Right. So if you're constantly being negative, when somebody's giving you a solution and you're still like, this is another thing I need. Right.
Ooh, that's pessimistic.
But that's another thing we had to learn too when we were going through our issues, is that when we do something, we start doing better. And we're starting to do better, and we fall off just a little bit. Well, right. we may do what we used to do just a little bit. That does not mean bring up all them times I used to do that.
Exactly.
That does not mean say, see, there you go. I knew you was going to start going back to doing this.
And you ain't done it in 2 years.
Right. Like, okay. Like, I fell off one time. Right. Because you got to go back to understand, you're imperfect. She's imperfect.
You know why?
They're imperfect.
You know why I think that happens?
Why?
Because people, us, we all do it. We're all guilty of it. We be waiting for it to happen.
Right.
So if it hadn't happened in a long time, it's like, instead of, man, you've really improved in this area.
Right.
Thank you for that.
Exactly.
When it finally does happen, see?
Right.
There you go.
Exactly.
It's like, wait a minute. That means we've been waiting for it to happen.
Exactly.
And you shouldn't do that.
No, and you got to be able to forgive and let go and move forward. If you say you're going to move forward, you got to move forward.
That's it.
Don't keep bringing up the past. And I know it's hard for people, especially people that has been in relationships where they've been cheated on. Like, the person that did the cheating and they're showing that they're not doing anything, and they're like an open book to you, this is and that, and they might have fell off because they didn't answer the phone one day on time, or because the phone was
the routine
off.
Changed
yeah,
a little bit,
something like
dating routine changed.
Something like that. You can't say, there you go again.
Right.
You don't do that, because you're dismissing all that work that you've seen yourself that they've been doing, or because they got a little attitude, they tired and they not talking that day.
Right.
Does not mean that person is seeing another person. It just means maybe that day you got on their nerves and they just being real quiet because they ain't want to cuss your ass out.
That's true.
That's probably what it is.
Yeah.
Like, in my mind, that's what I would be thinking.
It doesn't mean that I don't love you.
You're right. It doesn't mean any of that.
You.
So you can't bring up the past. Once you say y'all starting over, y'all got to start over. And then when somebody says, I love you, I'm going to be there for you, this and that, accept that for that moment. So you keep moving forward because you want grace when you mess up.
Come on now. Ooh.
So give them grace when they mess up.
Ooh. That's it. Stop.
I'm just saying.
Stop. That's a great way to end this thing.
No, I have a last thing I'm going to say so we can end it. The last thing I'm going to say, it's just like having a big goal. You see this big goal and you know where you want to go, but then you have to stop and now start taking the steps to get to that big goal.
Absolutely.
That's the same thing when it comes to dealing with our emotional issues. We see where we want to be. We want to be in that space where we're happy. We don't have stuff that bothers us, that stuff he does doesn't even, like if we get into it, it's just for a little bit, now we're back on good. It's not that deep, this and that. Have that goal where it's going to be just like that. But now you got to start taking the steps to get there.
Come on now.
That's all I'm saying.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. I done heard it over and over again.
There you go.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, go follow us. Social media.
Rocky.
Perfect Pair Podcast. Let me show you something.
Rocky, that is so horrible. Y'all have the holidays are coming. Can't wait to see you guys. Rocky.
Hey, listen, man, go follow the YouTube channel as well at the Perfect Pair Podcast. Everywhere on social media, Perfect Pair Podcast. And keep the reviews coming in. We love y'all. Thank you.
Bye.
Pretty much, ladies and gentlemen, billy goats and girls and bats and everything else.
Why do you do that? Just say ladies and gentlemen or just say hi. We are here to tell you guys where to subscribe.
Why are you talking like that? You don't even talk like that. Talk
I know,
yourself.
because I'm waiting for you.
Okay.
Okay. Subscribe. Please listen. You will not be sorry.
Did you just fart?
No. That's your breath. Oh.
Oh, comeback time.
Bye.
Mm.
That's what you get.